Hi, welcome to Box on the Box, Rock and Celluloid. Brat for short. I'm Edward Box. So this is my final Box Watch of the year. This is what I've been watching since the last Box Watch. First thing I'm going to talk about is television, and on Netflix I've watched the Ed Gein series starring Charlie Hunnam. This I found a sort of mixed bag. At times it's really interesting. It's got some interesting points to make. At other times I felt it was kind of wallowing in depravity a bit, and then it seemed to have sort of tenuous connections to other media events, I suppose. What really Ryan Murphy and his writers and creators are trying to do is essentially tie in the Ed Gein case and how that inspired filmmakers, and also other serial killers, really. It's that idea, once an idea or something gets out in the open, it kind of spreads. So it's got references to Psycho, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Silence of the Lambs. And he's really asking, why do we like watching this stuff? And there's some really horrible stuff in this, in a matter-of-fact way. And then you're like, yeah, well, why am I watching this? But I found it a bit of a mishmash. But it did have some interesting stuff to say. There were some interesting moments. The second to last episode really didn't work for me. But the last episode was quite satisfying. And again, like I say, brought in some good points. I mean, if you watch the Mendes Brothers one and the Jeffrey Dahmer one, which again, it was also problematic in a lot of ways. It's hard to say whether you enjoy this or not, but, you will find it interesting. I'd probably give it like a 5, 6 out of 10. Morning Show, started watching the 4th series of that. It started really well. Okay, that's only so many episodes into that. I do think the Morning Show is good. It's good. I hate to say use this word couples TV, but it's like if you've got a partner, it's quite kind of fun to watch. The kind of events it has in it and so on. So yeah, if you've not checked out the Morning Show with Jennifer Aniston, Reese Witherspoon and so on, it's a really solid show. It's quite funny and good drama. Alien Earth. So this is one that got a lot of reviews and a lot of talk a few months back. I came to it a little late. I waited for it all to drop on Disney. So my opinion of this was a mixed bag. I thought the sort of middle lump of it, the middle kind of 4 episodes were really good. I think there was problems with the slow build and then problems at the end. I think the main issue with this is that the alien's been turned into a kind of a very vicious dog that you can train. My mate on our WhatsApp group where we talk about films and TV pointed out, where's the threat when you can, train this thing. So some really cool sequences on this, but what's weird is, it literally shows the alien right from the start. The alien's lost any mystique. With every alien film, they've showed more of the xenomorph. And that idea of it being in the shadows and just being sort of where you've got little visual cues of it, it's weird kind of long helmet shape and things like that. That's all been lost. I mean, you've got literally full kind of CGI shots in this. They're very well done, if a little sort of block coloured, so to speak. I'm used to seeing the alien in a more textured sense with kind of oil and glisten and light refraction and so on. Yeah, the best thing about this is the other creatures they have. Obviously, there's a really cool creature. I'm not going to give a spoiler on this, and there's not a spoiler whatsoever about the alien, really. So I was just cleaning something there, OCD. But there's a creature in it, we'll just call it the Cyclops, and it's really cool. It's by far the best thing to come out of this. And I really like that. And it's kind of like octopus Cyclops, shall we say. So this show, if you're like a fan of Alien, check it out. You're going to have to watch it the same way you have to sit through Alien Resurrection, Alien vs Predator. You're going to do it. And it's got some good moments. I've put it on about par with, the same problems with Alien Romulus, which has some good bits. Alien Earth has the same problems. Those first 2 movies, Alien and Aliens, are still the classics. Next up, Untamed. This is a show on Netflix, been out a while. It stars Eric Bana. This is a really good show to check out. It's 6 episodes long. It's basically set in Yosemite National Park. He's a ranger. There's a really good opening sequence with a kind of climbing tense sequence. They find a girl's body. I'm not explaining how they do that because you have to watch it. and then it leads to investigation, what happened to this girl, who she'd been running from, what she'd been involved in. Eric Bana's really good, you know, he's a man with a kind of dark past. Sam Neill's in it as well. Beautiful scenery. The good thing about this, the episodes are kind of like 50 minutes, 45 minutes long. It's just a good watch. It's got no fat on it, you know. After the first episode, like, you want to watch the second one. You know, it doesn't outstay its welcome. And Eric Bana, this is a character I'd be keen to revisit, and I think they are going to make another series, so that was good. Another show I got round to checking out was Lioness. So this has been out a while. I think it was Paramount. It started going to other services. It has been on BBC. I think it's on iPlayer. I watched it, I think, on Netflix. So this was just the first series. Enjoyed this. If you like Homeland, Jack Ryan, it's basically Zoe Saldana, Nicole Kidman, Zoe Saldana in particular is kind of the head of operations of an elite squad of SEALs, male and female. And they recruit a sort of rookie SEAL to go undercover to assassinate a big sort of Arab money man, really, who kind of funds terrorism. This is good because it has their home lives and how it interferes with their home lives. It has the difficulties of that. It's got tense action. Again, the episodes aren't too long, and it flows along really nicely. I thought this was well done. Zoe Saldana was good. She kicks ass in it. I'm looking forward to the second series. I'll probably give this a 7, you know. If you're looking for something kind of, action-packed with intrigue, this is worth it. Next one, The Girlfriend. I watched this on Amazon. This was with Olivia Cook and Robin Wright, who actually directed all episodes. This was pretty good fun, but it fell apart in the final episode. Olivia Cook gets together with Robin Wright's son, very wealthy family. She doesn't like Olivia Cook's kind of hiding things, and then it's kind of mom against the new girlfriend, so to speak. So it's it was quite good fun. The actresses gave it their all, kind of 6 out of 10. A bit like one of those ITV dramas that kind of falls apart at the end. Wayward, this was on Netflix. This was with Toni Collette. She's playing a kind of camp school leader where difficult children, teenagers are sent, but the sinister cult under overtones, should we say. This was okay, you know, I enjoyed it. Give it a 6 out of 10. It had its issues. It was maybe a bit long in places. It maybe could have been, you know, could have trimmed the fat on this. Again, episodes are only kind of 45 minutes long. Not quite an easy watch if you just want to dip in. Then Murderbot. So I've been watching this on Apple. Murderbot are like, these are like 25-minute episodes. Alexander Skarsgård plays a cyborg human lookalike who is a kind of service robot that people buy from a corporation to use on their trips into space, so to speak. But he's managed to alter his own programming so he can think independently. It's actually really funny. Skarsgård does kind of dry voiceover, and he can access television. And I will not tell you what happens, but it's a very funny, long-running gag regarding his watching habits. This was good, you know, the effects were good. The main thing about this was it's just the sort of thing you can dip in. I'll watch a half-hour, 25-minute Murderbot in between something else, or if you've got half an hour to spare. The cast were good. It's got David Dasmalchian in it, who's one of my sort of favourite new actors. He's from Late Night with the Devil. He was also in the new series of Dexter. I really like him. So Murderbot, yeah, I'd give this a kind of 7 or an 8. Another show, and I'm only 3 episodes in on this, but it's The Hack. This is on ITV. You watch it on ITVX, which is the worst streaming service ever because it has such long adverts. Fortunately, I had to watch the first 2 episodes on that, but the other ones I've taped. I still use that word. So this is David Tennant. He's playing the Guardian journalist Nick Davis, who broke the phone hacking scandal. It's quite interesting because actually David Tennant's character is a bit of a knob Nick Davis, and he kind of references that. But he breaks the fourth wall a lot. It's basically got an all-star cast of ITV regulars filling in little kind of cameos. Toby Jones, Lee Ingleby. I've forgotten names, sorry, but there's a lot. Anyway, But when you're watching this right from the outset, you just realise how appalling this is, and how really, this independent panel that's run by the media. It's just a crazy thing. I've never agreed with that. The media shouldn't be able to kind of govern itself. You've got to have an outside thing that protects free speech. Some awful people anyway. Only one documentary I've watched. This is Gabby Pietto documentary. So this is the documentary on Netflix. It's in 3 parts. It's about the young girl who was trying to build. She went out to do van life, as they call it in America, with her boyfriend. Was wanting to get into vlogging and disappeared. Really sad story about abusive relationships. Really sweet girl. It's an interesting watch. If you like true crime documentaries, again, it's easy to kind of digest in 3 episodes. Pretty, again, one of those sobering things. But check it out. I got put onto this by friends who said, it was good. Okay, on to films. So first one I watched on stream was Novocaine. This stars Jack Quaid. So some of you may know Jack Quaid from the superhero show that takes the Mickey on Apple. The Boys. Sorry, no, it's on Prime. So you may know Jack Quaid from The Boys. So he's the son of Dennis Quaid and Meg Ryan. He's a nepo baby. He's got a quite interesting mix of both his parents, and he's tall. But like him, his kind of stock in trade is kind of, sort of doing the kind of humour put upon guy. In this, he plays a character who can't feel pain. He works in an office and he falls in love with his office worker, played by Amber Midthunder, who you'll know from Prey, the Predator prequel, or one of the Predator films, which is pretty good. And she gets kidnapped and it goes on for there. This is, I'll give it a 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10. I think it's from the director of Nobody. I could be wrong on that, but I may be muddling it up because he did the other film on Amazon, Jack Quaid's and Idris Elba, which was good. But anyway, this is, it's pretty decent fun. It kind of makes good use of the fact that Jack Quaid's character can't feel pain, and it's worth checking out. Next, House of Dynamite. Watch this on Netflix. This is Catherine Bigelow's latest film. It's gone straight to streaming. It had some brief showing at cinemas. Basically, that's so it qualifies for awards recognition. So this is the Netflix model. They get prestige directors, give them carte blanche. The film goes to theatres for like a week in selected ones, so it's eligible for awards, and it goes straight to streaming. We'll come to another one like that in a bit. I enjoyed this. It's in 3 kind of chunks from 3 different perspectives. Rebecca Ferguson, Tracy Letts is an actor, playwright you may have seen, and Idris Elba as well. He's really good in this. Idris can blow hot and cold for me, but he's good here. This is good. It's interesting. It's pretty scary. I wouldn't say it was great, but I give it a 7 out of 10. Catherine Bigelow, a very good filmmaker. Barry Ackroyd's doing the cinematography again, bringing in that cool handheld little zoom, style that Catherine Bigelow's developed for things like 0.30, The Hurt Locker, and the film with John Boyega, the race riots one, which is good, with corrupt cops. It's worth checking out. It's basically about nuclear attack. Something we don't think about, but basically it doesn't fill you with hope. Let's put it that way. Next one's the Springsteen movie, Deliver Me From Nowhere. This stars Jeremy Allen White and Jeremy. God, I've forgotten his second name. He's in Succession. It'll come to me. Sorry. I try and do things by memory. I don't write stuff down. It was good. This, if you're a musician, you're interested in how records are made, you'll understand. Basically, it's set after he's had his big success with The River, and he's writing songs, and he's got these songs that are kind of acoustic, stripped down, Dylan-esque, sort of folky. I would say, calling on people like Woody Guthrie and so on. And he's recording them on an early Tascam 4-track. So musicians remember our Fostex 4-tracks, and we recorded on cassettes, and it could split it into 4 tracks, and you could bounce down and so on. back in the 80s. This is early technology, and he's basically writing these songs, and he's renting a house, and it creates a certain vibe, and then he's got other songs that will become Born in the USA that his record company wants him to do, but he really wants to put out these tracks. But the problem is the when he tries and records them again, the vibe's just not right, and it's really about his struggles with the record company and how he transfers this vibe onto the LP format. And if you're interested in things like that and the mastering process and so on, and how that was done back then it's good. Jeremiah White's very good. This is good, it's interesting. My main thing with this, I'm not sure Springsteen warrants a bar pick, but it's really about his relationship with his father, and that's quite interesting. It wasn't as good as the Bob Dylan film, but it is good. The director of Hostages and Crazy Heart directs it, I think he's a good filmmaker. And again, his name's Scott, and I've forgotten his second name. You don't see this at the Fifth Cinema. I nearly said pictures and shows are all down. But, you check it out on streaming, it is worth seeing. No one from streaming, I watched on Netflix, Sky Cinema. This was William Tell. This stars Class Bang Olufsen, as I call him, as William Tell. I only know William Tell as the guy who, shoots the apple off his son's head, but he's a kind of Swiss Robin Hood type figure, I guess. What's interesting about this, it shows what $40 million buys and what it doesn't. So I looked into this. It's from a director called Nick Haim, who's had a various checkered career. He made a film a long time ago, a horror thriller called The Hole, starring young Keira Knightley, Flora Birch, back in 2001, that I saw at the pictures. But, this has quite a lot of CGI. The sets are sort of, it looks a bit TV-ish. It used to be like $40 million, $45 million would buy you something pretty good if you were kind of savvy with it. Here you can see the holes in the almost think why this film needs double that budget. If you think of a film like The Northman, it's $90 million budget and, looks really good. But it was kind of like a 4 out of 10. It's got a boo-hiss feeling, it's pretty good, and nothing with Class Bang. It's just not that interesting and not particularly that well done. You don't sort of feel the Braveheart passion with this. Rafe Spall's in it as well. But, if you're looking for something to watch, you might like it. Next, a film that came out a while ago and just, it's actually a made-for-HBO film. It's The Wizard of Lies. This is about the Bernie Madoff financial scandal. I'd say the documentary on Bernie Madoff on Netflix is far better, but this stars De Niro as Bernie Madoff and Michelle Pfeiffer as his wife, who are both very good in this. I'd just give it a 6 out of 10. It doesn't flesh out much about the scandal. Basically, he ran like a big Ponzi scheme. Look up Charles Ponzi and you'll understand it. So basically, if I take a tenner off you and give £9, get a tenner off someone else and give that tenner to you, you think you've made £10, whereas I've taken it off the other person who got £10 off, and I just keep doing that. I just keep getting investment and paying out dividends from that, paying payouts, but I'm not actually making any money. I'm just getting reinvestment, something like that anyway. Then I went to see a celebration screening, 40-year anniversary, Back to the Future. Still a lot of fun. If you're interested, obviously Back to the Future is a really enjoyable film, but you're interested in what's wrong with films now, go and see Back to the Future, and you'll see it's a perfect mix, having a perfect screenplay with really good dialogue, but great show don't tell filmmaking. Robert Zemeckis telegraphs each plot point where it's going, and he gives us sometimes he gives us little tidbits of information before the characters know it, and so on. And I found that last time I watched the film, I found that fascinating. This is just really well structured. Great casting, Michael J. Fox. Obviously, it was Eric Stoltz, and then recast him. Watching it again, I realised how good Lee Thompson is as his mum, and Christopher Glover's great, and Christopher Lloyd's he's such a mad character. Doc Brown, and Einstein the dog's great. Just less than 2 hours, it zips by. Good musical score, effects that are good enough and hold up. They don't make them like they used to. This was the biggest film in 1985. It was the big blockbuster that summer. It's got dialogue you remember, moments you remember. It's part of the cultural lexicon. You can't say that about modern films. So anyway, I'll leave it at that. So my final choice was that I watched was Frankenstein. So this is the new Guillermo del Toro film. What I find interesting about this, again, it's another one. It's had a limited cinema release and gone straight to Netflix. Why is this? Del Toro's got a relationship with Netflix. He's done like a horror anthology series, his Cabinet of Curiosities that I enjoyed. He also did his animated Pinocchio, which I wasn't that fussed about, was very well done. I think deservedly won the Best Animation Oscar because the animation, stop motion was beautiful. But this is the thing, is this film cost $120 million, and you can see that it's up on the screen. It has lavish production design, really good CGI. It indulges the director with a 2.5 hour runtime, and attempts to, tell the story more like the book. Or as those people has pointed out, the Kenneth Branagh version, a version which I actually like for all its problems, does so as well, with a proper opening on the ice and the flashback sequences. I would say this film was a bit too long. I was kind of nudging up to an 8, but I'd give it a 7. Like Del Toro's last film, Nightmare Alley, I gave that a 7 out of 10. I really like it, and I do really like this. Oscar Isaac's very good in it. My wife didn't think much of Jacob Elordi, but I thought he was good as the creature. Remember, the monster's not Frankenstein, it's the scientist, the human's the monster. Mia Goth's very good as Elizabeth, she's always good. Christoph Waltz is good as well. Like I say, this has got a big spectacle, it's big sort of gothic romantic, but with a bit of steampunk. Some of the costume designs are interesting, and the opening scenes are really good. But my sort of sad thing about this is I should have seen it on the big screen. We were watching it, we paused a couple of times, to use the loo and so on. This should have been at the cinema, but the thing is, would someone give Guillermo del Toro $120 million to make a Frankenstein film? And that's the issue. I mean, once you've done that, you'd have to market it. Let's say they spent 80 million marketing, they went 200 million in, they'd have to gross 400 million to break even. Would this film gross 400 million worldwide? I think Coppola's Frankenstein, Dracula, if released it now, would do. So there's a chance it would, but it's that thing, you'd be looking at it making money down the line, really. And for that would mean possible studio interference for someone like Del Toro. Netflix would go, there you go, Guillermo, do your thing. So that's the point with that. But check it out. It might be worth watching some other Frankensteins. Maybe watch the Hammer one. Maybe watch the Karloff one to compare and contrast. Of course, watch the Branagh one again. Quite interesting comparison. Okay, so that's the end of that. So remember, share and subscribe, and see you again. Cheers, thanks very much.